Dear friends, welcome back to my channel Alpha Physio Pelvic Care. If you're watching me first time, my name is Anastasia Varova. I'm pelvic floor physiotherapist and I'm practicing here in a beautiful sunny Cyprus as well as online. In my channel I share all things pelvic health and most of the time I'm getting inspired by my own client cases. Today I would like to talk about one of the biggest fear that my clients are facing when they get fitted the pessary. The pessary is a device that is used to support pelvic organ prolapse, and it can be of a different shape and different sizes. You can see it right now. I just grabbed one that I had at home. I was not passing by the clinic. Nevertheless, I will tell you few things that you need to know in case you had pessary and you just cannot get it out. If you find this video useful or maybe this has happened to you, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to press like button and also follow my channel for more things pelvic health. As I mentioned previously, pessaries are special devices, most of the time made of silicone, but sometimes of other different materials that have very different shapes and sizes. But one thing for them is common. You have to insert them into vaginal canal, and sometimes you can keep them there for a certain period of time, especially if it's something like a ring and it has an opening for a vaginal discharge to come out, or some of them you have to insert and remove them daily or only on specific activities if they don't have any openings, such as, for example, cube pessary. Most of the pessaries that are so-called space occupying, the ones that inserts into vagina and occupies the space and supports the organs so they don't slide inside vaginal canal, would have a small tail that you can actually grab and pull down. However, most of the pessaries that are constructed support pessaries, it can be either ring or oval or Schatz pessary, might not have those little tails that you can actually grab and pull down like a tampon. And this is when quite often women will come across the fact that she might struggle to remove it. But let's start from the beginning. When the client comes to me for pessary insertion, first of all, we assess woman's will to have one pessary, if she's fit to have a pessary, if this is appropriate for her, and then we decide on which type of pessary. Let's say all this is done and we're going along the pessary route. One thing that I will make sure that woman can insert and remove pessary by herself, and this will be done in my clinic in front of me. This said, there are some producers that created special devices, special sticks that can be used to remove and hook pessary better. This is something that you might consider to order if you find that it is difficult for you to get your fingers deeper into vaginal canal and you are still willing to use pessary. Let's assume that you came into the clinic, we inserted your pessary, you removed it, everything was fine. And then you went home, you did your things, whatever things you need to do. And one day you need to remove the pessary for whatever reason. You want to wash it, maybe you want to have an intercourse, and specifically with this pessary you can't have, or for any other reason. It's not comfortable, it's not helping, it's painful, you have bleeding, and so on. And you cannot reach for the pessary. You cannot remove it. You simply can't. You cannot catch it. You cannot find it in the vaginal canal. You think it might have been lost somewhere. Most of the time, people will go to a panic mode. They will think like the pessary went something up and it has disappeared. First and foremost, pessary can go quite deep and up into vaginal canal, but sooner or later, even if you have naturally longer vaginal canal, it will encounter uterus. And there is absolutely no way anatomically the pessary will move any higher than your cervix. So it might be very deep into your vaginal canal, but it does stay in your vaginal canal. This is important to mention. Number two. Pessary is not like a tampon. Whilst tampon carries a risk of toxic shock syndrome if you leave it for too long, and this is a life-threatening condition. Most of the pessaries are made from silicone material or body compatible material. It can be PCV, and they can't stay overdue in your body until you find someone who can help you to remove them. Even if you have a space occupying pessary and you started with your periods, quite often it can make things so slippery that pessary will come down and you will be able to remove it. If it is a ring, then the liquids can't come through it, so you're covered with that one. So you do have time to find a professional that can help you to remove it. And this is first thing. You can ask someone to remove it. In my practice, in my personal practice, I had women asking their partners to remove pessaries because because of the position. They don't have to, if you have to reach for the pessary yourself, we're going to talk about it in a second, then the partner can go straight in. B, most of the times partners do have longer fingers and they can reach for the pessary and they can hook it and remove it down. So this is a feasible option if you're comfortable for that. I would say use it just as an emergency possibility, and I always prefer if you're able to remove the pessary yourself and insert, because so you kind of are in control. But if this is a situation where you're like, I can't find it and I need to get it out, if it's okay for you, you can ask your partner. Just ask them to wash their hands properly. If they wish, they can use disposable gloves. Get inside, hook the pessary and remove it. This is an option. Number 2, you can actually go to your gynecologist or any gynecologist to remove the pessaries. Gynos will be able to remove the pessary. So if you call your gynecologist, I'm 90% sure they will find you 1 minute time slot where they can remove your pessary. It literally takes this long. I myself, as a pelvic floor physiotherapist, have removed pessaries for people who otherwise struggled to remove them themselves, or for that particular reason and for that particular time they struggled, or they wanted me just to do it once to make sure that everything is fine. Me as a pelvic floor physiotherapist, I can also remove pessaries, and also for the people I haven't prescribed and they have been inserted with a pessary by me, or they did it in front of me. So this is also an option. If somebody calls me and tells me, listen, I'm in total panic, I need this pessary out, yeah, I can do it. We can arrange appointment in the clinic, even if it's a Sunday. That's not a problem for me personally. I can go and open my clinic. Literally, it will take me 5 minutes, all right? And it's absolutely okay for me, and it's okay for me price to pay for the peace of mind of that person. I don't want to keep them, in panic. Generally, most of the healthcare professional, it can be a midwife or a nurse, they can remove pessaries. I'm not sure how much they might be trained at that certain person, but if worse comes to worse and you're in a complete panic, you can always go to emergency rooms because those people have seen anything. Hopefully it's not going to come to that, but it is an option. You're not at the state of panic yet and you want to try to remove pessary yourself. There are few tricks that you can do in order to remove the pessary. Trick number 1. You need to lay down in semi-reclined position so you can have a bit more control. If you lay down onto your back and you reach into your vagina, you will have longer way to go, so your arm has to be outstretched a lot, rather than if you're upright, so you have shorter way to go, and it's already can make your life easier when removing a pessary. So let's say I have a ring pessary inside, I don't have any little tails that I can catch the pessary on, so I have to go all the way into my vagina with my finger. I'm laying down here, and how I can help myself to make the process easier. As I reach inside, what I can do, I can try to tilt my pelvis back and forth and see if it will help me to find one of the edges of the pessary. It can be the back edge and can be the front edge. You can pull the pessary out from any edge really. I myself use pessary sometimes and I pull it out most of the time from the front edge. However, it happened that I was pulling pessary out from the back edge, from the side edge. Whatever edge you manage to catch with your finger, you can pull it out. Make sure you're nice and relaxed, and I would actually to do it on a breath in. As you breathe in, you found the edge and you pull it out. Because on the breath in, this is when your pelvic floor is actually kind of dropping down and relaxing. The other thing is, if you need to take out the pessary, you can actually make an action of bearing down. It will, if you do have a prolapse, it will, for that second, push down the prolapse, all right? I have to be very, honest about that, and this is a disclaimer. When you bear down extra, your prolapse goes down. But just for those few seconds, for the purpose of removing pessary, it will not make a huge damage to you. Do not worry about it. So let's say I'm looking for my pessary, right? I'm looking for it. I found it just about the edge, but I need to get that pessary slightly lower. I'm imagining that I'm bearing down, and the actual prolapse, the organs can push it slightly lower, enough for me to grab the edge and pull it out. Sometimes you will need gravity to assist you by removing the pessary, so you don't have to lay down. You can go onto kneeling position or high kneeling position. So you go into vaginal canal, and again you try to go forward, upward, arching your back. The straighter you go, the more you have to kind of move your upper body. The lower you are, the more length you have. So here again, you might need to move forward and back and see where you can find the edge of the pessary. Because you are already against the gravity, just a little drop of the tissues will be enough for you to find that edge of the pessary and to pull it out. You can also try to take one leg up, and this can move pessary on one side or the other side. So tilt it slightly on one side, and the side, usually it would be, so if I'm lifting my left leg, it might tilt towards your right side. So you might go on the right side, find the tilted edge and pull it out. Now, if you have tried all of this and it doesn't come out, again, I would suggest not to panic. I would suggest to leave it for an hour or so and try again. Now, if the second time around you can't take it out, then it's good time to call either to the person who fitted you the pessary or your gynecologist. If, let's say, it is a Sunday evening and you want to take your pessary out for whatever reason, especially if it's pain, all right, if it's pain and bleeding, I would say A&E is your best option. If, let's say, you wanted to have an intercourse, right, and you know that your pessary is not very comfortable for your partner or for you, and you prefer to take them out whilst having intercourse, then you can probably wait until Monday and then contact your healthcare professional. So really assessing the situation and using common judgment and making sure that first and foremost your health is a priority. So there are people who can help you with taking out pessaries. Another thing is people might feel discouraged. They might feel embarrassed about asking someone to take the pessary out. Guys, what can I say? Just don't. Just absolutely don't. I think especially doctors, we've seen a lot. I'm not a doctor, I'm a physiotherapist, but doctors and me as a physiotherapist, we've seen a lot. We get a lot of questions. It's just these things happen, and these things, especially when it's related to something that is inside your body, it's very understandable that it can be freaky, it can be scary. So there is no need to be ashamed for asking for help if you need to remove your pessary. I hope, guys, you don't get into a situation where you are in a complete panic trying to remove the pessary. I hope things will get nice and smooth for you. However, if you need help, it's there for you. Let me know in the comments if you had any pessary adventure. What difficulties you found with the pessary? Was it hard to insert? Was it hard to move? Was it generally hard to have? Was it something that it greatly helped you? I also have other videos about pessary in my YouTube channel. Make sure you check them out as well if this is an option you're considering. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for watching. Take care, and we will see you back very, very soon. Bye.